I was having a really hard day, and I painted the baby fox and the prairie dog piece, and they're like two sweet friends, and I thought, it's like, this is like a grandma painting, like, because it's so cute, and then there's like garden flowers and like sunflowers and things around them. And I was like, oh no, I'm doing grandma art.
That is the voice of Kat Kinnick, and you're listening to A Creative Excuse presented by Echoamano, and this is the voice of Frank Rose.
And this is the voice of Cara Duvall. Kat's exhibition opens tomorrow, May 1st, 5 to 7, and we'll be hosting an artist talk with Kat Sunday, May 3rd from 12 to 1:30.
This is Kat's third solo appearance on the podcast, and we really get into it. We do talk about the show, but we also get deep into the philosophy of Kat's making and what's important to her right now. Talking about process over product, how animals sit at the edge of cuteness and brutality, and how that connection to nature, humans included, is what ties everything together.
We'd love for you to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast platform and even leave us a review. It really helps.
Thanks for listening.
That should be the start of our podcast.
How do you hide the ding dong? Well, Frank was just saying he's getting microphone clips that will clip on so that we don't have to deal with these, and that we could go on walks.
I love this idea.
Like we could go on adventures.
Yes.
We wouldn't have to sit and just like, we'd be like, oh, and look at this guy. Oh, look at this thing I found.
One thing about outside is that you have more ambient noise.
Which is kind of nice. Maybe? No, it's
not.
not.
For listening.
Well, have you heard the podcast Strangers on a Bench?
No.
It's so sweet. And it's like based in London, and this guy just finds a stranger on a bench and asks them like, do you have half an hour or 15 minutes to talk? And that's
cool.
all the podcast is. And it's lovely. And people go deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's like, I mean, I think that makes sense in that context, right? To have ambient noise, cars
Exactly.
going by, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because you're on a bench.
Yeah.
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 But if we started it with, we're going to be on a bench today outside in the plaza, then people would be prepared.
Yeah. I think sometimes it's fine.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want to do it for all of them.
No, not all.
I mean, I like having this sort of like, you know, very focused audio, you know, where everything's clear and, you know, getting deep.
Deep.
Yeah.
Clear.
Clarity.
So
Clarity is
how do you hide the ding dong?
good. Well,
Great question.
Cat. Cat.
How do you answer that?
How do you hide the ding dong? What is the ding dong to you, and how do you hide it?
You're so on point with this question. Well, it's funny that like Jordan was saying this morning about, I don't know, something about my art, like the things that I don't put in, like I'm not like explicitly saying, but it's still there. So I think there's ding dongs that are hidden for sure. Yeah.
That's really interesting because, like, I mean, so much of a lot of things is what's not said, right? What you leave out is very, very important, right? It's, I think about, what do I think about? What was the thing that I was going to think about? Damn it. Say something,
Rewind.
Kara.
Well, I mean, okay, so you just said, right? That's very interesting because often the things that we don't say, I'm paraphrasing, I'm not going to say it exactly like you did, are, you know, just as important or hold a tremendous amount of value. And I'm going to go back to Kat. And I'm like, you didn't even say what a ding dong was to you. You just said that there are things hidden, or that Jordan said that there are things hidden or that lie kind of obscured in the work. And then you alluded it to being a ding dong. But I want to know, What is a ding dong?
I guess it's well, what I'm thinking of right now is like, yeah, like really the nitty gritty intense stuff and like the trauma and the and like this like severeness of life and like brutality of life. Yeah, but also just like inherently, I think in art, like stuff is just hidden because it's like such a process. Like even this show, like I'm just thinking, and like this doing this podcast with you guys, I just keep thinking about like the golden stuff is just like what gets stirred up and brought up, and just like being engaged in the process is so much more important than the product for me. Like, and the product serves other people, but like personally for me, it's in the process. And when I'm making work, I don't even know exactly what I'm doing or like what it's saying, because there's so much in the subconscious. And so it's like for me to untangle and unravel. And I have like aha moments down the road, like, oh, this piece means something different to me now, and I see it in a different way, and like how I'm viewing it now is going to change over time, and it totally is like reflective of what's going on in my life in the present. But the work emerges from like my whole life, you know, everything that's like happened to me in my life and everything I've seen and like experienced in my body, and not just like aesthetics, not just like other work that I've seen in the world, but like it's like there's such a visceral feeling of when I'm illustrating the animals too, and like doing figurative work and painting a place, you have to kind of feel what that feels like to like either like be in the pose of the animal, or like if you're touching the animal, like what the fur feels like, and then the like distance and space, and also trauma, you know, is like held in the body.
That makes me think a lot about my talk, actually. Because a lot of it is really about how, for me, coming to the conclusion or the realization that this gallery is a creative process, is an artistic process, for me, is around, well, process, you know, and that the artifact, right, the product is like evidence of the process, and that the process is actually where the real work goes on. And so much of it is about intuition and not knowing. You know, it like for me, like doing this has been so much around like, you know, of course responding to my circumstances, but like here's an opportunity. Do I walk through the door or not? You know? And I don't really know what the consequences of that will be until I do it. And certainly I'm like, you know, checking in with myself. Does this feel right? But intellectually, I'm not going to usually I don't understand it until much later. You know?
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
And I think that to me that is artistic practice, because you're engaging with yourself in the unknown. You know, you're looking at, you know, and recognizing and dancing with the fact that you don't know, and going to those places intentionally. And that takes practice, and it's not easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And also, and then it just continues to evolve. That's the kind of mysterious thing about creativity, but also memory, ourselves, you know, that we have that capacity, and it's a beautiful capacity to continuously rewrite and understand these points and along the timeline. And then the beautiful thing about art making is to have this thing that is alive. Like it's growing with you. Like you said, it's just like you make this and you look back and you're like, oh, well, that was what was going on. And then 10 years from now, you look back and you're like, oh, but no, wait, that was what was going on. And it's evolving and shifting and changing along with you. It's very mysterious.
And it's so hard to see when you're in it. I was thinking like, when you close a chapter in your life, like shift jobs or something, you can like see what you were doing with clarity. But it's hard. It's hard for me to see my own work, like what other people see, because it's such a part of me.
Yeah. And to your point, I mean, it's like every experience that we have, it changes the chemistry of what's happening, right? And it's like every new encounter, every new thing we learn, every realization, it makes it new again, right? Because the chemistry is now different. Because all of those things that we experience are impactful in some greater or lesser degree. So it has to be a constant practice, because we're, if you're open to that and allowing those things in a way that changes you, or even just listening, it's how you respond is going to be different, and so the work is going to be different. The artifact, the evidence.
Yeah.
Such a discovery, such a journey. Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. I keep thinking too, like how, like, yes and to like everything, and like how do you honor and hold the trauma, I'll just use that word, while also like stepping into your capacity, and like who are you separate from that, and the person that you're growing into, and
I was thinking when you're talking about the experience, the nitty gritty, you called it the nitty gritty, and the like the dark. You didn't say dark. You said, I think, nitty gritty. Brutality. Yeah. And going back to the ding dong, and here the ding dong in Echo Mono is to let you know someone has walked through the door, and and to think about. My mind's going all these places, but there's a poem by Rumi, right? The Guest House. That's what it's called.
I don't know what it's called.
Okay, I think it's called The Guest House, and it's talking about, essentially, my understanding is like letting anyone who's at the door, letting them in, welcoming them in, giving them a cup of tea, making them feel at home, and to your point of the stuff that arises that is hard to metabolize, being with it as much as possible with the sensitivity and also the recognition, maybe in the moment, maybe not, that it will shift and it will change with time, our understanding of it. Yeah.
I know for me, so much of the practice is around not making the thing that I'm engaging with the whole entire reality.
Yeah.
And with overwhelming things, like, I mean, that's just what I do. That's what we all do, I think. When we're involved in something that's painful, it overwhelms, Yeah. And I think part of the process for me of working with that is coming to a place where it's integrated into that whole, right? Where I am still, like, in the metaphor, the owner of the house, but that thing is a part of it now, right? They haven't kicked me out, and they're not saying like, I rule now, bye. Where those things can become integrated, and that takes time, and it takes, a level of, detachment, and not in the sense of like, resistance, or in the sense of like cutting something away, but detachment in the sense of like, this is not all that there is. This is a part, right? And it can come and go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody used a metaphor of like driving the car, like that. Like monsters like sitting next to you, but like doesn't have the hands on the steering wheel.
Yeah. And sometimes it grabs for the steering wheel, and you have to go, no.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does some pretty wacky stuff. It's really hard to keep your attention on the road.
Yeah.
Well, I think that, you play with that in a really interesting way in your work, right? Because I think, so much of the the doorway of your work, this sort of first impression is with a sense of, you talk about cuteness or about a kind of love of nature or animals, but nature is very brutal as well. And so it can be a real metaphor for our lives. Can you talk about that, whatever it comes up for you about around that dance between when you bring in, a snarling wolf or it's a cute bunny eating a flower, you know what I mean? Like there's, you play with both of those elements.
Well, I've been thinking about like cuteness and sweetness a lot more lately, like needing that coziness as the world is just like feels like it's on fire, and then finding out, more challenging things in my life. So like I was having a really hard day, and I painted the baby fox and the prairie dog piece, and they're like two sweet friends, and I thought, it's like, this is like a grandma painting, like, because it's so cute. And then there's like garden flowers and like sunflowers and things around them. And I was like, oh no, I'm doing grandma art. But it's, I feel like that is like a salve that I need too. And like, I feel like the animals that I paint, sometimes I try to make them scary, but they still, I can't get them as scary as I want. Like sometimes I have dreams where really challenging people in my life are just so lovely in my dream, and we're just like buddies again. And I feel like that's what kind of happens in my paintings. Like I'm just striving for harmony and and some kind of peace. But exploring like the predator-prey dynamic, which is like really juicy. There's a lot there. I've been just like thinking and processing a lot about like kind of the hardest stuff in a way, like thinking about incest lately and like pedophilia and like and that I feel like it's like, why does that exist, you know? And thinking about victims of sexual abuse. And these animals also feel like they're right now, to me, they're not like, they're kind of in the middle plane of like these like protectors and guides, and also like, I don't know, wisdom in a way, like witnesses. Yeah, but they also, like animals, I'm like fascinated by the capacity that they have to, like, I saw a cougar in Arroyo recently, and it's like terrifying. It was like amazing to see this cougar, but also I felt so vulnerable. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I want to just point out that so with you, the past 3 shows have all been women artists dealing with animals and their relationship to animals in a protective way. That there's this sense of like awe and also trepidation, but also that these animals are here to give guidance, protection, and it's like that's very fascinating. And also there was something that came through. I want to say, I think it was with Haley. We were talking about, there's the recognition that animals are fierce and there's brutality, but it's not malicious. It's not, there's not this premeditated intention. I'm going to hurt you. It's all like very much,
I need to eat.
I need to eat. I need to survive.
Or protect my children.
Yeah. And that with us humans, that I need to eat, I need to survive, it gets complex and it gets really convoluted because there's layer upon layer upon layer of story about what that means. It's like becomes so it's not distracted. It becomes so extracted from the natural world, from like basic needs to, I need to have the right car. I need to have the right skyrise. I need to have the right, and if I don't, I will die, essentially. And then all kinds of chaos ensues.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we identifying with as our being? Like, who are we?
Yeah.
And it becomes about, I am my car. I am my religion. I am my country. And when those things are, threatened in some way, we feel like we are threatened. And so we want to defend that, or, seeking survival means certain kinds of pleasures or something. We have to have that to survive, whether that's drugs or sex or whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a seedy thing, but it's like anything. It could be anything.
Yeah.
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 Such a contrast. Like we were talking about the film American Beauty, and been thinking about the how people love blondes and youth and wanting to get closer to that kind of loveliness and sexiness, and consumption in a way, and addiction, and the opposite to me, or I don't know, just thinking about healthy, harmonious ecosystem where everybody's interconnected, everyone's health is it, informs your health and well-being, and same with the land and plants and animals, and I just feel the more tough stuff I find in life, the more I lean into kindness and care and reciprocity and really just taking care of one another. And the start of the show was thinking about Oaxaca, just what it felt like to be there, and the biggest impression I got was just how open and receptive and generous people are. And I probably mentioned this moment to you, but I was just so struck by this one artist who's so insanely amazing, and I saw her work in a museum, and I took a photo and put it on my stories, and I feel like a little squirt of an artist. I'm probably a big deal to a lot of people, but I'm just little old me. And she saw that I was in Oaxaca and was come to my studio, I'd love to meet you. And it just felt like doors were more open there than how I've experienced in the States. And also with codes and regulations too, people can open up a business in their garage, and just the warmth of that feels so good.
Yeah, there's definitely a shift or just a difference in priorities around family and connection in Mexico. Whether through necessity or design. I mean, it's more a part of the culture there. I found to have a real value towards close family, close connection, community. It's probably both, but definitely sense that for sure. The other thing I learned a statistic that, and it's probably no surprise, but that 70% of the United States GDP is through consumer goods. 70% of our economy is through consumption of buying products, So, I mean, that's evidence, that's not the thing, but it tells you something about the priorities, It's really interesting.
Yeah.
And so many things are so cheap and affordable now.
Yeah.
And people aren't making a lot of money. So it's I can buy all these cozy things for my house that don't necessarily last a long time. So it's a really different experience than investing in art or a house of your own or whatever, or a car.
Yeah. Well, I think, it's the word that comes up sometimes is enshittification. I don't know if you've heard that one.
No.
But how over time, just certain products, certain services, things kind of are sort of degrading in value. The cost is going down, but the, quality is also going down. And, things like handmade items, craft and art, that are products of real process and real work, are expensive by comparison, or can be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was interesting. So Frank and I went down like a little memory lane a few nights ago because I was trying to find a picture of me in my prom dress. I had been talking to some friends. We were talking about our prom dresses, and just people were saying, "Oh, if I could do that over again, I'd have a different dress." And I was like, "I would have the same dress." So I was trying to find a picture of the prom dress, and I was looking through. We have a big cardboard box full of all these old photographs, and we opened it up, and we were just looking through. And one part of it is Frank's dad's belongings, and in that we found a newspaper that was from 1971, right?
Which there was a few different clippings.
No, it was the whole newspaper, and it had all of the ads.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it had ads from 1971, and we were looking, at these ads that were for jeans, or dresses, and it was food, yeah,
appliances.
And so the dresses and the jeans and things like that, it was like, get your Easter dress for $5 or something. It was some tires. There were tires that were $14, $15 a tire or something. And then we were looking at the appliances, and Frank made this comment that the price for the appliances were exactly almost the same price that they are now. Because all those, when appliances came out in the 1970s, they were so hard to make. It was so expensive. All of the labor and everything like that was very expensive. And now...
And probably, made in the U.S.
And the U.S. And now, they're exactly the same price, except all the other goods.
Everything else is more expensive.
Everything else is more expensive. And it was just this wild little, not snapshot, but journey through the consumer tunnel to 1971.
Yeah.
How much has changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking also about I was going to what you said about kindness and how you just are feeling more and more. I think this is what you said, like going towards kindness and generosity. And there's something I've been thinking about around times of tremendous upheaval and chaos, and that right beside this seeming like destruction and violence also arises this, I will say like a force of good, of people stepping more into kindness, more into generosity. And it's like they arise together. And I see that, not when I turn to the news.
Yeah.
Not when I read the news, but when I talk to people, when I have my day-to-day interactions, I've been having this sense of like, there's so much kindness. There's so much desire to give and to be of service that I feel in myself, and I see in others way more than I felt several years ago. And it does feel like it's like something does awaken. It has awakened in me and in others in response to what we read, what we see on the news. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so important to remember too. I feel like I forget. And also if you've been like really hurt by people, you're like, oh shit, like this is going to happen again. You're kind of like wary. And then I just keep cautious. I've been cautious of people lately, and then have a moment of like, oh, they're so kind. They care about me. They're so nice. Like they're not going to be a jerk to me. And like I think so much about like, you know, you got to realize the future that you're going to step into. And I feel like, I don't know, that maybe some of the news too, like keeps us from like, I've always been like a proponent of good news because the more you can like bite on the good stuff and like, oh, that exists. There's like really kind, generous people out there who are, you know, or I'm like, there's liberals who care about the climate and people and like diversity and arts and like other cultures. And like, I don't know, like Pink Martini just came to the Lensic recently, this band from Portland, and they sing like covers, but they started as like, I don't know, they're doing some political stuff, and Ari Shapiro from All Things Considered is a part of it, and that's how I found out about it. But I was just like so uplifted, like, I don't know, lately I've been like thinking about Seattle and Portland. I'm going on tangents, but I'm just like
going all over the place today.
like thinking about all these pockets and other worlds and like different communities that are creating the world that you want to live in. And I've always felt like art is a part of that, and the creative arts, and that's what we're doing. I think that's like one of the maybe most profound, powerful parts of our work is that we're trying to envision a future that we want to live in. And for me in my paintings, it's like very rich. Like I can't stop doing detail. I'm like, I need to make simpler things, but I just love it so much. But yeah, like so many like plants and like colors in the sky and abundance of nature and animals. Like, on the way here, there's this hawk that lives on Highway 14, and I see him flying around often when I'm driving. But today he swooped down so close to my car, and it was the most beautiful thing because I'm like cruising and he's cruising at the same, I don't know, like we're kind of just like slowly cruising into each other, and I could see like the feathers on like all the detail on him. It was like so close, and it just felt like a blessing, and I just like cried.
There's a couple of things that makes me think of, well, I'll say three. One, it's so much fun to see you become a better painter over time.
Thanks.
I love, and
Thank you.
I mean, it's true. The work pays off. Second, it made me think about the things that we don't say in thinking about the news, right? What's left out is just as important. And that, so much of it is around negative things that are happening, which are happening, but it doesn't tell the whole story. There's that. And then the third thing, I just read this book called The Everlasting by Alex Haro. She's a fantasy writer. Very addictive writing. I tore through the book in like 2 days. But a big part of the book, or kind of the message of the book, is around basically like a nation is the story that it tells about itself. And the story that it tells about itself is not just the story that's spit out by those at the top. Whether you agree with them or not, whatever, party is doing the storytelling, that the stories are just as important by the people who are living in that nation or country or culture, or whatever it might be. And it made me think about, I've never really been drawn to activism. I don't consider myself one, but and sometimes that makes me think, and I think I hear this from a lot of artists too, is like, what I'm doing important? Is this contributing to change, or, doing good for where I'm at? And that we're contributing to the story, right? That the way that I choose to operate this business is a sort of reflection of my values. This is what I want to see in the world, right? This is how I think things should be. And I'm not telling anybody how to do it. I'm just trying to be an example and doing it myself and contributing that, like, okay, well, if this is what I want to see, then I'm going to do it. And I think the same is true for artists, right? This is what you want to see in the world. And that those are real contributions to the story of this place, from small, city, community bubble, your friends to, national, global. It all has some level of measure of impact, I think.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Well, okay. So when we have these openings and people come and they gather and they enjoy each other's company and they take in work that delights them and momentarily, makes them think differently or uplifts them. That changes. That, like you said, that changes the whole vibration of the space and all the people, and it, and adds to, it strengthens a story that I think we all here want. And that's the story of connection, and that's the story of caring and tending to one another and uplifting one another. And I think about that, the experience that happens when you're driving in your car and you stop and you let someone into your lane. They're waiting at the gas station. They want to get into the lane, and you stop and you let them into your lane. And then you see them stop and let someone into the lane. And then it just ripples. And then just suddenly everyone's letting one another into the lane and tending and caring for one another.
Yeah.
And
holding the door open.
Yeah, just in those
it feels
simple
so good.
acts. Right. and conversely, the opposite. When someone cuts you off and you're in your car, and then suddenly you're like, I gotta get to the next place. I have to get there really fast. And then you don't let someone in. And then maybe, who knows, maybe they don't let someone in. And it's just this, we are such permeable, sensitive, we are like the aspen trees. We are this just organism that's sending messages back and forth. And those messages are, to break it down simply, it's tend, be generous, kindness, or, just think about yourself, which in some ways it's that's a false message. That's not, it keeps us, enchained and pretty miserable. So I was like, art, what we do here, what we offer, if it's offered in the spirit of connection and generosity and kindness, that is changing the world.
Yeah, what you do matters.
Yeah. What
you put out gets put out. The vibes that you put into the world impact the world. Everything matters. Everything has an impact.
Yeah. I love, we've talked about, feeling kind of like hosts, that's one of our archetypes, and creating spaces where connection happens. And that is just so rewarding to me. At openings, bringing people that I love together, and then people meeting and then creating connections from there. And a couple times at gatherings that I've put together, people have met their future husband or partner, and that's so rewarding to me. I just want to be a connector, and that's art's a big part of that. We're all doing that, and it takes a lot of work, and people got to recognize that too. So show up to those events, people.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. I have a question that's kind of forming for you, Kat. And something like, okay, would you agree or disagree? Or it's more nuanced, but that, okay, art is the medium, right? But what's beneath it, or what's flowing through it, is that desire to connect.
Absolutely. 100%.
Mm-hmm. And that's the way, the medium is, I'm going to make art, but the impulse is,
yes,
I want to connect, and I want the world to connect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to, be seen. Because I'm, pretty quiet person, I would say. I'm kind of like, but I also feel like I really need people. So I'm like introvert, extrovert. But the connect, like this wonderful thing happened recently where on Instagram, these printmakers in on Reunion Island, off the coast of like South Africa. And I just saw that they were like following me and commented some nice things. And I just reached out because of my experience in Oaxaca working with printmakers there. I was like, oh, it'd be so nice to like collaborate sometime, and I'd love to see your studio. And then I thought like, oh, like, would you be interested in like connecting over video, and like, could you give me a tour on video? And they're like, yeah. And we made a plan like the next morning when the sun was setting over there and it was rising here. And they're just like, it just felt like instant friends, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And Jordan's been saying this too, you know, my partner who's a musician. He's like touring right now, and he's like, there's so many friends across the country. And like, because we do this like niche thing, and like, he's like, it's amazing how many parallels we have and like points of connection. And I mean, it's like really expensive to get to Reunion Island, but you know, maybe there's ways. But just like the promise of that just filled me up with such like sparkle and light and excitement. And that's like the best part of our careers, I feel like.
Well, and you're very good at that, Kat. I just have to say.
Oh.
I don't know how many times I have been talking at various points for your shows, like, oh, you should come to this show. It's Kat Kinnick. This is what she does. And then the person goes, oh, we love Kat.
Oh.
You know, and it's all across the board. Oh. And I have to tell this one story. I think you know the story that, you know, I use this app called Insight Timer. And on Insight Timer, you can have friends, but it's nothing like Facebook or Instagram. It's essentially you just send a message that says, thank you for meditating with me. That's the extent of it. But there was one person on the Insight Timer that we started talking more because we found out, oh, we're both in Santa Fe. Oh my gosh, we live close to each other. Okay. And then it would be like, well, I hope we're going to get snow. Yeah, that would be amazing. And it got, and then one day I was like, you should come to an opening. Come to an opening at the gallery. It's going to be this wonderful artist, Kat Kinnick. And then the person, Matt, goes, oh, I love Kat.
Oh, thanks, Matt.
Yeah, we've known Kat her whole life.
Oh,
it's just this absolutely wonderful moment of, what you said. It's like the world is smaller than we think, and there's friends everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so at your opening, I met Matt.
Yeah.
In the flesh, who had been for over a year being like, thank you for meditating with me.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yay.
And what you said makes me think about just reach out, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it's amazing how, if there is a real shared connection there, like just reach out, I remember, starting this gallery or forming concept, just like, we get that question a lot, like, how do you find your artists? Mm-hmm. Which is kind of a funny question. But sometimes it's like, I just saw their work on Instagram, was like, hey, your work is cool. Can we set up a studio visit online?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And how there's like, how little friction there is, how easy it is, how eager people are to connect that way. Mm-hmm. And then I think that's, even reflective just out in the world too. Like, I mean, it's so simple, It's when people come into the gallery too, you can also get this sense of change if like they come in and they're really quiet and you're like, hey, I like that jacket you're wearing. And like they light up, and it's so easy to do that. Yeah. It's so easy to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Simple.
And it makes a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's, do do you know the podcast On Being with Krista
Yeah,
Tippett?
of course. Yeah.
Did you listen
beautiful.
to the one where she had Tracy Smith?
No.
And I'm blanking on the woman's first name, something Hardjoe. Oh, this is bad.
Joy?
Oh, Joy.
Thank you. Joy
Yeah.
Hardjoe. It was her talking with both of them about being poet laureate. And Tracy Smith, in the beginning of the pandemic, she was poet laureate, I think in 2021, maybe. And what she did was she went across the U.S. and she went into these very small little rural towns and brought poetry to these people and sat down with people from across the political spectrum, you know, and in places where she was like, I had heard stories I wouldn't be accepted because she's a Black poet. And she would sit down and she would have these phenomenal conversations with people. And she said something just miraculous happened when she would read a poem and then she would ask, you know, like, well, what does that make you feel? Or like, what does that make you think of? And then people would just open up and share these beautiful experiences from their life. And it's like, it can be so simple of just asking like, well, tell me about you, you know, tell me about your experience. And then conversation can begin and hopefully connection can be fostered. It was very touching that episode on being. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And that is like the power for sure. That's a hope of art.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can all connect to something that moves us, to an animal, to, you know, to a beautiful sky, to words about heartbreak or a song.
Yeah. It helps us feel. Yeah. Make those connections. Yeah. Oh, so good.
Do you have
forgot what I
your
was gonna
phone
say.
and your
So relaxed.
our softball questions?
Where? It's over there. Okay, let me go get it.
We have a set of questions that are just kind of like fun questions. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Before I ask the softball question, I'm going to ask, because we started this off with you know, like, where do you find the ding dong? What what is the ding dong? And I guess I want to ask, you said, Jordan reflected to you that often things show up in your work. And you said the gritty, and I'm curious about this show.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm curious about this show and if that, and you did mention you were making grandmother paintings as well, but do you, like, with this show, did you find that there was more gritty coming through, less gritty? Like, what, you know, what's been your relationship with the ding dongs and the gritties in this show?
Lots of big, powerful cats. And so that is very particular kind of like strength and fierceness. And in this pose, like one of my personal favorite pieces is that red cougar that's on the postcard, and like his stance and like how chunky his paws and legs are. And that like bright red, like the power and vibrancy of that color. And he's blocking this house that it's kind of inspired by this ceramic piece I saw at the Met that was made in Mexico, like ancient Mexico. The roof is kind of inspired by that, and then like a little Japanese elements like lantern, but it's like red, glowing red inside. Somebody recently said, I'm gonna do a bad job describing this because I don't remember the specifics, but they said that different reds, they were talking about the different energies. Like one red has like virtue and the other red is like sin, but they're like, the values are so close to one another. And I don't know, that struck me as like also my mom just bought a red car and she was like talking about the difference in red than her friend's car and like like how one is like really sassy and the other one is like very elegant. I don't know. But
Sassy red.
this house that the cougar's in front of, like I've been thinking about like the symbolism of the house a lot too, and like the coziness and the nurturing and the like protection, but also how things are hidden. And like there's this scene in this film, Sorry Baby, that's about this woman gets assaulted by her professor and she goes to his house and you just see her entering and then you're just looking at the house for that period of time and like the light is changing. And then she comes out at night, like after the assault had happened, and just how powerful that is. Like also like in Hitchcock's films, how they don't really show you the scary stuff, but it's like even more scary because you're just imagining it. So there's like that element of the houses for me, both like I love Pinterest. I'm on Pinterest a lot. And that's a lot of my inspiration for the work too, is I just look at all the things that I've liked, which is like homes and plants and food and clothes and animals. And I'm like, I love all these colors together and like just the feeling of this. So also homes are like just such a good feeling for me too. But I have dreams of like being in a house and I haven't had one lately, but like there's, I'm not totally secure in the house. And like this one dream I had, a snake was coming through under the door. And so that made it in that painting. There's like a snake emerging from the house. Yeah. And I love the mystery of that. And when I saw the cougar, there were all these robins. And the ding dong would be I don't know. It's like the ding dong is the like juicy like strength and like embodiment, and also the like I don't know. I could just keep it at that. You know, I like that. Have you seen Eurovision, with the Fire Saga? It's like a...
Did we watch that?
No, but I've seen it cross the screen, and it's kind of like, what is that?
Sorry. They say ding dong a lot.
Do they?
Or like his dad calls him a ding dong all the time or something.
I call people ding dongs too. It's a great word. Yeah.
Oh, no, they have a song called Ding Dong. Dun, dun, ding dong. and in their town in Iceland, the people only want to hear the ding dong song.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They're doing some work on the door up there. So that's, if you hear a little voice in the background, there's a little bit of work being done on our door.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to pull up a question for you.
I've got one.
Oh, you got one. Okay.
I think it's on the list. But
Cool.
If you were not an artist, and what would be the thing that you would be drawn to do if it's not art? And I'll since you're already doing music, I'm going to leave that out of it too. No visual, no music. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was a preschool teacher before, and so it could be teacher. I wish I had more of an engineering brain. If I did, I would love to be an engineer. Like, I just think I love technology, and like, I wish I knew how to like DJ or work synthesizers, or I have engineers in my family, and like Drew friend is like, so he's so good at help. I just keep thinking about like, I want to know how to like build a house and like do all this stuff. And and I love is it called the Rube Goldberg? Rube
Goldberg?
Yeah, I love those machines so much. Like there's this one, I mean, he's a Rube Goldberg artist. and I just love when one thing sets off another. It's like really satisfying. So something with engineering. I loved math in school. I'm like one of those rare artists who, but science on the other hand, I could not wrap my mind around. It was like too abstract, but math is like a game or like problem solving.
That's interesting. I'm guessing not all sciences.
I think,
Like biology?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Wow.
I'm like, yeah.
How does this thing work?
These things are so tiny, I don't understand.
Cell division.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so pick a number, Kat.
From 1 to 10?
1 to 10.
Somebody picked 7 last time, right?
7 seems to be the lucky number.
Okay, then I'm going to do that.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 6. Oh, yeah. I think this is what we asked Haley too. Okay. What do you do when you get stuck in anything? Not just art, but just stuck in life.
When I heard that question, I was like, I don't get stuck. Is that a jerk thing to say?
No. Honesty.
Oh my God, I feel bad for saying that. But yeah, I just keep moving. I don't know if I get stuck that often necessarily. Like, well, this one piece for the show I cut up, and I guess I feel kind of bad about it, but I don't either because I love cutting things up. But that was a point where I was stuck. I was like trying to solve something. And then there was just this problematic part that I couldn't fix. That and so I just like cut it from there.
You just like, goodbye.
Yeah.
That's what I do when I get stuck. Goodbye.
Exactly. Clean. You know? Out with the old, whatever's not working.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Frank usually knows when I get stuck because suddenly I'm like cleaning maniacally and it's at 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
He's making dinner and I'm like, I'm just going to get out the broom and I'm just going to start sweeping. And then I'm looking at all of the little like spider webs in the window crevices. Like, I'm just going to get out the vacuum. I'm going to take that too. There's something about it's like if I can take care of this, whatever else in my life is going on, it will also get fixed.
It's true. Yeah. I'm a big proponent of that.
Yeah.
Well, I think it can help in just like sort of changing the area of focus for a minute.
Yes.
And taking your mind off of something, and then you can come back to it and be like, okay.
Yeah.
Like working out the anxiety a little bit in some other way.
Yeah.
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 A different kind of stuck that I get is like sometimes I feel too isolated and I get kind of like stir crazy and like in a corner and like nobody cares about me kind of thing. Like I can't feel that connection. And I think like realizing like having a list of like, yeah, if I have some commissions like and deadlines and like and remembering that like, yeah, people are using my mugs every day. Like creating points of connection, I guess. And like I've been going to the Chavez Center sometimes just to like see people. And that helps me get unstuck, just to like see other human beings out in the world because I live like alone in the country.
Yeah. Can't just all be connection to robins.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta exchange words.
Exactly. Yeah.
Don't want to become the Unabomber.
No.
I don't foresee that happening.
You'd be the Unilove bomber.
That's right. That's
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, great. Well, I feel like this was good. Like I love like having these repeat conversations, and you can just go in deeper in different ways. It's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your show opens May the
First.
Is it the 1st? Okay. Fantastic. May the 1st. So let's get this out. Let's say I'm going to get it out the day before.
Amazing.
So come to the opening May 1st, 5 to 7 p.m. And then we'll have an artist talk on Sunday, May 3rd, from noon to 1:30.
Yay.
And
how exciting is that to have your show open on Beltane?
Oh, you're right.
Right?
Yes. You gonna make some flower crowns?
Should we have a poll?
I think so.
Yeah. Tie it with ribbons.
Yes, I love ribbons.
Just have ribbons.
Yeah. Love ribbons.
also opening that night is a show by Jaden Moore. He lives in Virginia, and his wife is going to have a baby very soon, or maybe just has had a baby. So they won't be coming. But his work is about like constructed of all these like deconstructed silver platters, and it's really, really beautiful. And we're going to try to get him on the podcast remotely. But that'll be opening the same night.
Okay.
Thanks, Kat.
Thanks, Kat.
Thanks, you guys. See you at the opening and the talk. So exciting.
Oh.
Whoa. That was great.